Hey, I'm Lenny fucking Breedlove.
Silas Howard.
This is Leslie Ma. You're watching Crash and Bleed.
Operation Paperclip, yeah, you ain't a hypocrite. Supporting Nazi war criminals and feed us on subliminal out messages. Does support Nazi fools under evil commie rule or eating bullshit all day long. The shit you feed me's having strong.
Bunch of old people.
I know, that's really funny. Is it Jay? Is Jay on here?
He was here. I heard him for a minute.
Yeah, I don't hear him now. There's Lenny.
What's up?
I think we lost Jay, though. Do you want to text him?
I am here. I'm just not seeing the options that Leslie's describing. So, like, I don't know how to access the...
Like you see the little icons at the bottom? On the bottom left?
No, there's no little icons at the bottom. But, wait, there's a little arrow at the top here. Let me just click on this and see what happens.
It'll be funny because by the time we figure it out, my time will be expired. There we go. Yay.
You can see me?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay.
Can you see us?
I have no idea if I can see all of you or just... Because I have to move the screen around to see all of you.
Oh.
Which is odd. So, how many people do we actually have here?
Look at these photos I've been running across. Look at am I going through all of my stuff. Look how friendly we look.
Yeah.
That's
3 of us and 1 of you, so total 4. We could start a band right now.
Yeah, the shit fits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect then. Am I the right way round for you?
What's that?
Am I the right way
What?
round?
Yeah, you're perfect.
All right. Well, goddamn, Leslie, you didn't tell me about this.
What?
Having everyone here with us, like.
I told you I was going to invite some guests.
Yeah, well, these are some pretty huge guests.
That's how she rolls.
I rolled the huge.
All right. So, what are we doing, Leslie? Are we going to listen to the albums together, or are we just going to talk about them?
Well, because when I did a pretty long interview with Jay, and he actually had almost all the anti-Scrunti faction records, and we talked a lot. He asked me a lot of questions about anti-Scrunti faction, and also told me that the album and the EP were 40 fucking years old. So
No.
yeah. And
That's impossible.
and then I realized like I couldn't answer any questions he asked because it's just all a blur. So I have my good buddies here who did enough drugs that their brains were stimulated enough to remember things that happened that I just simply cannot. I outed you. But I think you're famous for it anyway.
Well, okay, so should we start with ASF? Should we get Flipper and Lynn's point of view on that whole thing? Like, were you a part of that scene back then? Like, did you discover that band early on when that was happening?
I think I'd heard about it because, like, Leslie was a sort of infamous character walking around with AC at the time, mohawked and super cool looking, and I had heard. And also Lisa Pulte. Was it Lisa Pulte? Who was the other person? Yeah, so I knew these musicians that came from Colorado were in San Francisco and super cool. And also it was like I went to see a lot of music, but there weren't any queers, like hardly ever in the shows or in the crowd. So you really noticed when there were other, especially punk queers at a show. Like we could count on one hand how many of us.
Were you interested in getting that record when that came out? The LP?
I knew of the band, but I didn't have any access to the record, or I didn't have any kind of, I think I just knew of them and and Lisa too, but I didn't get the record. I think I didn't. And I heard of Yo-Yo Gang. Was that after?
That's 1992.
Oh, okay. That would have been after. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So how about Lynn? Did you discover ASF when that was happening?
Oh, hell no. I was very busy in an apartment somewhere, freaking the fuck out, being paranoid on a lot of stimulants that I thought were going to help me. And they did for a while, but then they didn't. And during that time, I was unclear on a lot of concepts. I basically had a Black Flag cassette and a couple of other bands that, I would yell into a beer can and try to impersonate, but no, I didn't find out about ASF until after Les joined the band. And even when she was in the band, I still was under the impression for a couple of years that Tribe 8 was the first all-dyke punk band. And then at some point, somebody fucking corrected me, and I was like, huh? Yeah, this is a bit something. I was in my bubble. And thanks to these guys, I was able to bust out now and then. But yeah, once I took out, I was like, oh shit. And then I listened to them and I was like, oh, this is a fucking bomb. Fucking great. And they did a cover, like an ESF cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Esther Femme. I just want to add that I was in a bubble as well. Like I was just coming out, like not that long ago, as queer, and there wasn't really a queer scene, and so I was trying to listen to lesbian folk music, although I still love Farron. And I think I remembered, like, I think I cut my hair into a mohawk because I saw Act Up crash Pride and with towing a cop car, like an old cop car, and beating it with high heel shoes and making out. And my best friend and I were like, oh my God, that's our people. But we had to cut our hair so that they knew that we were their people. And so the paint was still fresh on my outfit. I was not anywhere near as cool as Leslie.
Okay, so what were some of the most important bands for you when you got exposed to all this for the first time?
Well, they weren't punk, but I definitely was listening to there was a lot of cool music in San Francisco. There was Penelope from the Adventures had a band, but L7 was a big, that fucking record was everything. And Young Marble Giants, and there was like a lot of cool, a lot of my friends were in bands. So it was maybe not a punk scene, but it was like an indie scene, and it felt like the bands really supported each other. Like I remember doing a benefit for like an all dyke space, and a bunch of straight musicians did a benefit for it, and it wasn't like a big hang up. They weren't like freaked out about it, and it was a pretty supportive scene in San Francisco in the music scene in that time.
Yeah. So what happened though when you discovered punk rock? Was that like an explosion for you?
It was for me, it was like jumping around. I was newly sober, and that's how I met Breedlove. And the idea of being able to like jump around and yell, like the endorphins that you got from that. And also, I mean, being whatever, born female and raised, not male, there's a lot of not a lot of access to like moshing and sort of physical, like that sort of wild ride that can be. And so just the physicality of it all was really amazing. We were also like pretty often the odd people out. So we were in scenes that weren't like, we were traveling in different scenes that were a lot of straight punks. And but yeah, I remembered, but I also remembered there was still a lot of rules in punk, which I found interesting, but that's true everywhere,
Okay, so what about Lynn? I imagine Black Flag was kind of a big deal for you early on.
Yeah, I fucking love Black Flag the most, but I was just thinking I was born in the 50s. Literally a fucking boomer. I got in under the wire. So like the shit that I first heard that blew my mind was the Tubes in I feel like this is 72 and Bette Midler. My friend put those two records on and I was like, what? White Punk's on Dope? What the fuck? And I was like, this is amazeballs. And then knowing that Bette Midler got her start at the Baths singing after she would get off stage for Fiddler on the Roof, and then at midnight she'd be over there singing for a bunch of half naked dudes in towels, and I was like, oh shit, there's a whole world out here of very theatrical and rule fucking just iconoclastic shit, rule breaking. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I started listening to, well, of course I listened to Zeppelin, everybody did, but I listened to Queen, Elton John. I was like, oh, these guys. My first record was Honky Chateau. There's Elton John and Bernie Taupin walking down the road in their little Brokeback Mountain jackets. I'm like, that looks gay. I don't know. And then that dude didn't come out for another 15, 20, I don't know what, 30 years. But I was like, I'm always telling people they're gay. They don't know for like 30 more years, but I know. I could have told Elton. He should have called me. But then, yeah, the 80s, my friends put on some shit in their like pickup truck. They would pick me up out in the country. And the only thing they had out there was like alcohol, meth, and punk rock. And then every month they'd be at the cemetery pouring libations out for some dead person that like didn't make it through that, and they would like spin donuts out in a fucking parking lot and play Black Flag and Circle Jerks and all this good fear. And I was like, you guys, this is really fucking loud and obnoxious. And they're like, yeah, isn't that great? And I was like, okay. And then it didn't take long for me to go, okay. And then, yeah, what you said, Silas, about going to San Francisco, then there was J Church, Housecoat Project, Tragic Mulatto, all these mofos, Typhoon.
Beatniks.
Typhoon. And then there was like clubs like Female Trouble.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
I saw who I was fucking Linda Perry sitting on a stool with a Dr. Seuss hat, Cat in a Hat, fucking playing guitar by herself. That was before Four Non Blondes even got together, and I was like, what is happening right now? So that was late 80s. And then 90s, we were just like, we're just going to take all this mishmash. Oh, yeah, Patti Smith, huge influence to me. And then we just started doing whatever. We brought everybody had their different influences. I feel, Silas, you had more like whatever was on the radio in Vermont shit going on. So did I. We were like Journey and metal and Motley Crue and fucking Metallica. And then Les was like an actual punk. And, then Tantrum had like her world beat thing. Mahia, what was Mahia's influence?
I had a lot of different influences. And Slade also had jazz background, and so did Mahia, I think, like Training.
Right. They were the real band. They were
yeah.
Names, and we're like, what? And so I feel like the genius of any project for me after watching that blow up, that was what blew my mind, was that you could take all these different kinds of backgrounds, put them together, and if the people get along, if we like each other, and we have like an ethical intent, and that's what I think really punk rock is about. It's like, what is the belief system behind it? You can make anything happen. And I think that's the genius of what everybody was doing there.
Well, I pointed out to Leslie that when Tribe 8 started, every record that you put out got faster and faster. So the Colorado one, which is this one right here, I think I have the vinyl of this as well. This one's pretty slow, but then by the time you get to the third album, it's almost pure speed. So can you talk about like the importance of speed in music and hardcore, and what did that do for you? Why is it so fun for us? What happens in our brains when we hear that?
I mean, one thing I loved about did you ever get a copy of Pig Bitch, our first 7-inch?
Yeah, that's
so that
right,
one.
yeah.
That one, I felt like what I loved about the fan feedback from that one is they're like, I don't know whether I should play it on 33 or 48, but sounds good on both. That kind of sums up Tribe 8 a lot for me.
Yeah. Do you think that there's something powerful that happens for young people when they discover like that burst of hardcore, like I don't know, Circle Jerks, that sort of fast fucking drumming that Tribe 8 incorporated later? Were you actively trying to replicate those early 80s hardcore bands?
I don't think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I saw all those bands in the 80s, and especially when there was the crossover with metal, and then all of a sudden everybody had a double bass drum. So yeah, that had a huge influence on me. And I I think in the 80s and the late 80s, there was definitely this idea of like who can be the most hardcore. Like it was definitely a competition to see like who was loudest and who was fastest and who was like way more intense. And so there was, I don't know if it was a full on competition. I mean, certainly not everybody was doing it, but yeah, I was like,
We want,
play fast and hard for sure.
yeah, because our dick was bigger, as the story goes.
Yeah.
But no, I think the adrenaline too for me was like just that, especially being in early sobriety, like the fastness and the, it was a rush, and it made you feel big in the world. And I think what was amazing for me as an outsider to punk until we started joining the band was it kind of gave us a passport to go all these places we wouldn't have been able to go. Like being on that stage was like a magical teleporter, and we could play heavy metal clubs or lesbian bookstores or, super, punk clubs or basements, in people's, parents' house or whatever.
Yeah. And we made an effort to play a variety of different places. Because there were punk bands that would only do all ages shows, but a lot of those were only accessible if you knew the person whose basement it was in, and it didn't really make it accessible for like older folks or, lesbians. And then, so you'd play bars, and then, the younger folks were the ones that were excluded. So you would try and play a variety. Different crowds.
Well, I also think that as far as like the fast, the slow to fast evolution happened organically because we were going on tour, and we just got better and better by being out on the road for 6 weeks or 7 weeks. You automatically play faster. If you got a crowd in front of you, you might have written the song at a certain speed, but suddenly in front of the crowd, it's double speed. And then Slade getting her her double bass, she just jumped in on that. She was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this now. And then, I don't know, it just on its own went that route. And I had no problem with it. Also, what you say about people just, something clicks over and you just get in the pit, right? And then all of a sudden the mosh pit happens. And to me, that's like it's a circle pit between the audience and the band. Like they're and it's just like an endless loop of, it's a cone of power, and it's just like you can't stop going faster and faster as the show goes on. So I really like recording after we've been on tour for a while, because then we are playing our best but also our fastest.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I like to ask all my musical guests this question. And Leslie already answered this with Wendy L. Williams, kind of. But I'm gonna ask Flipper and Linny, who would you say was the most iconic punk rocker of all time?
Oh boy. I mean, I've been really into reading Viv Albertine's books, so I really love the Slits, and they're kind of busting into that scene. So I would put them on my top.
Yeah.
And X-Ray Specs, like not a person, but you know what? And I really love thinking about a band as opposed to a person. And to Tribate's credit and Linny as a front person, we didn't let them separate us. I think we really pushed hard to be a band, and I kind of like that aspect of it. And it was really good of Linny too, because like we're geared towards systems of single, front person worship.
I am anyway.
No, you shared. You were good. You shared. You were Sherry.
Right, exactly. I mean, the moment where we realized I was saying a bunch of shit and you guys were like, that's not necessarily representing how the rest of us feel. And I was like, how about everybody gets a mic? And from then on, it was a wall of power just pushing forward of everybody. Talk about DEI. Like,
Yeah,
let's have
true.
their fucking idea. And I was like, if you don't like what I say, just blurt it out. What do you think? And I think that's what kind of put us on the map. In my mind anyway. It brought this like we can all be different and we can all work together. Like idea. You know? But I would say between Darby Crash, Iggy Pop, and probably Patti Smith, those are what I feel like are the people that really bring it. But of course also Henry. People are always like, it's a haircut, it's an outfit, and it's you know, I want to see it like, do you really believe it? Make me fucking believe what you're saying, and that we should all do that too. You know?
Right.
Well,
I-
okay, so
Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't necessarily feel that about Wendy O, that I didn't really believe anything that she said. I think it just popped into my mind because she just really challenged me as a performer because she made me uncomfortable.
That's great.
well, okay, so on that very subject then, since Lynn brings up Derby Crash, how do you guys all feel about that whole like nihilistic cutting yourself on stage, all this getting fucked up on drugs, like the whole Gigi Allen thing? Do we have any thoughts on that
Yeah,
sort of thing?
I just want to warn us that we are coming into the like 5-minute zone. If you want me to restart it, I think I can restart it the end of the Zoom because I don't have an account, so it's a 30-minute.
Yeah, nobody had a full-time account.
Yeah, I got rid of mine.
Yeah.
Can I? Let me just restart it, right? And I'll send you guys all the same. I'll send you the new link.
When you see me coming, you all go running as if I was gunning for your ass or something.
Oh, somebody's on. Jay's on. Okay, Jay's on. Yeah. Try. For some reason, it's saying she needs a password.
Yeah, it did. It just kept saying enter the password, and then I didn't do anything. It just let me in.
Oh, okay. Okay, admit Lenny. Okay. Lenny's joined. I tried to try again. Let me see. Oh, you're in. Let me try again. Maybe I hit the wrong thing for Leslie.
I just clicked on it finally,
There we go.
and it went through, but it was about waiting.
Yeah, it's because I barely know how to do this. Okay, there we go. We did it.
Well, hold on now, because everybody's sideways for me.
Are you on Are you on some weird block, like a lock screen or something?
No, but the way it got me in was a little bit awkward.
Do you want to try to? Oh, now I have a picture in the middle. There we go.
Jay, are you on a phone or a computer?
Phone.
Oh, try turning it.
You should be able to swipe right to left and see other configurations.
We might have to
That's-
work with it like this.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. Just a little bit more of the editing to do. Can anyone remember what we were talking about?
You were asking about the sort of nihilism. I
We're talking
would just.
Gigi Allen,
What's
who
that, Lenny?
he was asking us about Gigi Allen.
Yeah.
I went on a total hate fest in the middle of, I don't know what tour it was. I feel like it was 98 or something. And we got a hold of a zine where all these women were accusing him of like serious, unconsensual, sadistic ass, rapey shit. And I was just like, no, that is no longer punk rock. So you've overstepped, dude. Understatement of the year. But yeah, I was
Well,
never.
and also just to, oh, sorry, Lenny, when you're done.
I was never a fan, but I think that some people were like, what the fuck is he actually doing? And dudes were, yeah, fucking shits on stage. Blah, blah. And we were like, no.
Because you were also asking about just nihilism in general too. I would just add, aside from Gigi Allen, who, yeah, I don't even know enough, but what I heard was not anything I was interested in. But I definitely am a more hopeful punk. Like I think coming out of the AIDS pandemic, like nihilism, I feel like everybody stopped dying from AIDS and started to die from drug overdose. And I felt like, in a way, we were so used to living so hard for the day that it wasn't much of a future planned. And it was like really easy to just embrace that, live for the moment, to the point where, yeah, drug overdose and suicide and stuff became a little bit more prevalent than I would have liked to have. And I don't know, I think having grown up a certain way, I like hope. I need a little hope, a little denial, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the world's so harsh.
Yeah, G. Allen was really terrible. I know somebody whose close family member was actually kidnapped by him, and he didn't let her go for a couple of days, and he tortured and repeatedly assaulted her. So that's not, like, there's nothing punk rock about that. And
no, that's old fashioned.
Yeah. And
turkey.
And I did have a conversation once with this guy who was the, singer of a popular band, and he was kind of trashing Madonna. Mind you, I think Madonna is also trash. I mean, or just like, I'm not a fan. Let's just say I'll go on record as saying I am not a fan of Madonna at all. But when this guy was, trashing Madonna, I said to this guy, I was like, well, Gigi Allen's kind of the Madonna for boys, just like the ultimate, like, representation of masculinity. That's just like completely self-destructive. And you're going to fucking, while you're taking yourself down, you're going to bring as many people with you. And he wasn't particularly happy about that. But, like I said, I'm not a fan of Madonna either, of just like this, like, virgin horde, like trying to play with the female iconography. So, yeah.
Yeah. What would you say the solution to all that dark shit is? Like, how do we get out of such dark times in punk rock?
Humor is one solution. Like, humor is, I think, like Lenny's hilarity and Leslie Mall. I mean, everybody, we were as goofy as we were angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Humor is really important. And, I think that a lot of the right wing, I don't know how it is in the UK, but certainly here it feels like the right wing flipped the script, where they're all now like acting what they think, how they perceived punk. We don't have an education and fuck the system and like tear down the government. And people have been more recently in the past several years saying things like kindness is punk, because it's like, it's so out of the norm now to just be like, how about, just do something kind for somebody. You don't have to be nice, but like, do something kind for somebody, like, don't be a gatekeeper, like, bring somebody up, like, be generous with people who are younger, just that kind of thing.
Yeah. And be real. Like I'm kind of a fan of radical tenderness. Like, I think that's authentic if people actually say they give a shit about something, as opposed to kind of off of that nihilism thing is the opposite of that.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, actually, I think I give too many fucks.
Well, okay, so we better move on to some Tri-Bait albums here. We've got this one, Fist City. This is the 30th year anniversary of this album. Can we get a couple of thoughts from Lynn and Flipper on this one?
Shit, 30 year? Why you gotta make us feel old like that?
Time is a social construct. I don't know. I don't get it to even look at what are the goddamn songs on it, Wait, hold up.
Manipulate my girlfriend. I just wanna flick it to the head. I want her. Do some metal push
while you're looking at it, Linny, I would just say we had a lot of gun imagery, you know, by the time we get to California and Fifth City. And I remembered when Tantrum joined the band, being from Canada, she was like, what's up with all the guns? I was like, that's a really good question. But we felt very under attack. So I guess, you know, that was what was up. And I think there was a influence of like hip hop and punk in conversation with each other in certain parts.
Right. Well, there is that idea that, you know, only a certain type of person has or uses or knows anything about weapons. And it's like, you know, who was it? Diamanda Glass said, you know, their idea of gun control was that only women can have guns. And right. So
you did not just throw down a Diamanda Glass quote. I fucking love that, Leslie.
Right. But it's true. It's just like, no, I mean, they only started really regulating firearms when the Black Panthers, you know, brandished them publicly. And then all of a sudden there were all these laws about like open carry and concealed carry. And it's just like, because the idea of, you know, the Black Panthers, like these radical, you know, Black folks taking up arms, like that was this huge threat. Whereas, you know, you have like the typical, you know, Second Amendment gun toter would be, you know, the Bible in one hand and the firearm in the other hand. And that was acceptable. That was considered American. So I think it's important to sort of play with that kind of imagery, but it's also, it's a difficult thing, right, in the United States to have imagery with firearms.
Yeah.
It's a badass cover.
What does Lynn have there? Is that an original pressing of the vinyl?
No, I grabbed the Role Models for America one, but I have the CD version of Fifth City. But I'm just looking at Manipulate's on there, which that's a favorite, which first song that I ever wrote before we were even in Tri-Bait. I just want to manipulate my girlfriend. I want her to do some mental push-ups, shit like that. That I thought was really funny because it was early sobriety. I didn't even have a year sober, and I had a lot of feelings, but they were hilarious. And my whole fucking main tool for getting sane was make it funny. And so that is a commentary on, I felt like, what we were doing as like community and relationships. There was a lot of play parties and ridiculosity and polyamory, and it's all in there. But it's like 3 verses, 3 choruses, 3 chords, that whole thing. What is that the time that everything was in the key of E, Silas?
Well, probably, but that Fifth City was like our second. Was that our first album?
Full length record.
First full length. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Key of E. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there we go. What else is on that?
There's Seraphim, that was basically a love song for Anna Joy. Then there was Butch and it was so cheesy. Oh my God, help. And then Butch in the Streets was like fast and furious, but it was also old school. Like as if you're Butch, you're the top, and if you're Femme, you're the bottom. And it was like making fun of that, but I think a lot of people kind of just ran with that. I don't know that everybody gets the irony in that. Romeo and Julio is about, what if we were gay dudes? What is like an Al-Anon fucking thing of like, I'll just be whatever you want me to be. What do you want me to be? And then there's like a list this long of things that I could do and be and act like.
That's my favorite song from that album as well.
You do? You like it? Why?
What is it adventure? What is it like what is it predictable? What is it smart?
It's the one that has the most complex beat, so I just love the drums on that one.
It's great. When we played in Italy, Lenny described, what I also loved about our songs is they were very inside baseball. Like we weren't trying to explain things to people. Like they were pretty queer as fuck. And, but like people went with it. And then, but I remember in Italy, because Lenny speaks like 7 zillion languages, you were introducing the song in Italian, and the confused look on the straight Italian punk. They were totally down, but they were just like trying to understand dykes as fags in the Roman era.
Because I was like, okay, this song's about being a lesbian trapped in a faggot's body, and they were like, huh? Like I Italian, I was just down a concept there. What? What?
Right.
Well,
And now,
one thing that I forgot to ask Leslie
The other way around.
in the last time that we talked, there's actually footage in a documentary. I think it's one of the queercore documentaries. There's in studio footage of you guys recording the song "Manipulate." Where's the rest of that footage? Were you filming home videos for that stuff?
Communication.
We're ready.
Can I have a key?
Okay.
No.
Women's love is so friendly. Women's love like herbal tea. Women's love it empowers me. I just want to manipulate my girlfriend. I just want to play games with her head. I want her to do some metal push-ups. I want her to apologize to back and shit.
I don't know. We lost a lot of tapes, though. I think that I gave them to somebody, and I don't know if I got them back, but
I don't know. I feel like we recorded 50 songs in our 15-year career, and a lot of what we did is a blur, and it's probably going to pop up in a storage space someday in another 50 years, and we'll all be dead and gone. But that'll be okay, because that whatever generation is trying to survive on Mars or something will hopefully like just start a band, and all will be well. I don't know. But
I found our deportation letter, Linny, when we got deported from England.
oh yeah, deportee, dropkick, little weirdo.
And it was like this whole, I was like, wow, I saved everything from the 90s.
was it for everybody in the band?
I think it was like, because we got our crossed off thing in the passport, but this was like more of an official thing.
Okay.
I have it somewhere because I'm organizing a bunch of crap so that I can, I don't have kids, so I'm like, who's going to care about this stuff? But there's some places that want to do archives. Yeah. So I'm talking to a couple of places that would archive it and make it accessible for other people as well, and trying to coordinate with everybody. But I have a lot of stuff that's just ephemera, that it's not really digital at all. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, let me just ask Lynn about the lyrics to Seraphim. That whole "I shot up with holy water" thing. That's hilarious. Like, where did that come from?
Well,
I love it.
I was madly in love with this babe. It was ridiculous. I'd never been that in love before because I'd never been sober and in love before. Like that level of like, and she was a poet and she was a punk rocker, Anna Joy from Blast. Later Cypher in the Snow and other bands, but we were just like woo out there, of in love, and I was just feeling ridiculously poetic. Plus, yeah, I have been shooting up drugs for like the previous 10 years off and on in the 80s, and this was like, oh, this is like what I was looking for. Shooting up some white powder isn't going to do shit. Shooting up actual fucking the brain chemicals that you fucking right here. Oh, now we're in it, And I think also it was after our first tour of Europe, so there was a lot of like imagery of, I'd been to Europe a lot since I was a kid because my mom's German and dragged me all over Europe since the 60s. But then there was a lot of like just every little church and cathedral that we don't have here, y'all have, because y'all been around for thousands of years. And we have been around for thousands of years, but we destroyed the, cultures before, so we don't have that thing. So to me, churches were both terrifying because of what they did to, anybody that they didn't agree with, which would have included us. But also it was gorgeous. Little angels all glued to the ceiling and shit. I was like, let's bring some of that shit in here. Reclaim, you know?
Yeah. Well, churches they were the only people who like had money to hire artists.
I have all these old posters from our
Fuck yeah.
tours. There's one that was like these nuns going down on each other. I don't know if I have that one in here. That was pretty cool. But remember there was the one church we went to where you had to, everybody kneeled and there was like a carved out space and they kissed the stone, but it was like a total vag kind of thing.
That was the Pilar in Milan.
Oh yeah. That's anyway. Tangent.
The bird, and you're supposed to kiss it.
Yeah, here's one of the other posters. Here's one of the ones from, I don't know where that was from, but I'm trying to find this one of the nuns that was pretty kinky. But,
well, Flipper, can I count on you to send me some pictures?
Yeah,
of some
absolutely.
of this stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm totally. Yeah, it's been really fun to find all this crap there. It's pretty sweet. Anyway.
Is it in Germany?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. But we played. Remember, we played in Rome during the Jubilee, and they were. Yeah. It was like they had all these protests. They were like, Italy doesn't need homosexuals; it needs children. They had those posters.
Euro Pride 2000.
Oh, see, Lynn's got some stuff too.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, and Leslie does too.
Yeah, we all have like boxes and boxes in storage.
Yeah, here's from Do or Die. This is when we went on tour with MDC.
Hell yeah. So how often do you guys go back to that Fist City record? Is that something you listen to in your spare time at all?
No.
No, it's my least favorite because I was still learning how to sing and I was like doing a terrible job. Is what I call my dying cow era. But I like role models and I like snarkism because by that time I'd figured it out a style that made sense to me. And so yeah, I ignore.
What's Powerboy on? What was Powerboy on?
I think it is.
Powerboy was on the EP.
Yeah.
By the time we get to Colorado.
Oh yeah, we didn't put it on anything else because when we did this recent little mini half reunion, I was listening to all these songs of ours, and I never do listen to them, and I was like, oh my god, I was really into it.
Well, we recorded it, and it's on a compilation fundraiser for Food Not Bombs.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
I never read daily or write a big fight. Feminist theory gets me uptight. She left him for another girl. Left him for another life. Left him for another world. I guess she got tired of being his wife. When you're on your knees looking up at her, you know she looks so magnificent. She looks down at you, you know she don't give a damn about you.
So, well, this actually has a bunch of great songs on it, like Neanderthal Dyke, Alan's Mom, Femme Bitch Top. That is the one that we have a music video of that you can find on YouTube.
Girl wants to destroy your dignity. She don't give a damn about chivalry. Like a bunch of butch tops trying to protect her at last. When she wants to do is respect her. You better keep her from being bored. She don't have an interested bone in her body. When she's through with you, she'll show you the door. You can sit by the phone.
Think that's a Aretha Franklin fucking cover. Flipper Snapper, which is about how I was like always trying to bite Flipper style, but failing. And he got all the babes because he was fucking fashion king. And then there's Barnyard Poontang, which is really, really hilarious. It's like cow punt. And all I can do is a sad tale of woe of being in love with someone who had some childhood abuse stuff. And then the lyrics got fucked up by alternative tentacles, and then a bunch of lesbians freaked out and thought that we were, being
I
abusive.
never knew that. How
Yeah,
did that happen?
the thing was about because the fucking alternative tentacles merged the All I Can Do lyrics with Power Boy lyrics or some shit.
Oh my God, that's a terrible mix.
I don't know what. And all of a sudden, they were like having all these like meetings and looking at the lyric sheet going, see, they're evil. And we were like, what are you? No, it was fucking AT made a mistake. But anyway, and then Frat Pig is all about castrating rapists. And I think it's the one where we had the most fun doing theatrics. And probably, I don't know, you had to make sure that you did that song after you did Romeo and Julio or whatever you were going to do where you were going to get a BJ, because if you cut your dick off before you got the BJ, then it didn't work. So this was kind of like, I feel this album is whatever, the prototype for like kind of what we did on stage. We started to figure out what, for me anyway, what the skits and sketches would be. Eventually we did like the skit on stage where I would always be like, hey, Silas, can we do the bloody one? And you'd be like, no, I just put on my favorite white number shirt. And I'd be like, no, come on, fake blood, come on, chainsaw, ooh, everybody loves it. And then you'd be like, okay. So there was, I don't know, a lot of fun as a result of.
I just remembered Lenny would chase me with the chainsaw, but for a little while you had the chain on, and then I was like, no more chain. Take the chain off.
Yeah, and it was right when we hit Vermont, and I was like, they're totally gonna know I'm a poser though, because they have chainsaws. And you're like, no, on the pit with the chain on the chainsaw, we're fucked. And I was like, yeah.
Okay, so I just opened up one of these Fist Cities, and I'm looking at the lyrics, and I don't know if I ever knew that either, but it's true. It goes from All I Can Do, which is about incest, and then it goes into fucking.
Holy shit! I never knew that either. I gotta look that up. I don't know if I have an album version of Fist City. I must have one.
Well, yeah, I mean that was the whole fucking process.
I'm gonna look. Never knew that.
Well, okay, so while Flipper's looking for this, can we talk a little bit about how Alternative Tentacles picked up on this band to begin with?
We're up against 10 minutes again, you guys. So just so you know, and then I'll probably.
Biafra was running around San Francisco. He lived in San Francisco, and I think he came to some shows, and he was like, wait a minute, you guys want to be on AT? And we're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, he came to see us at Epicenter.
What?
He came to see us at Epicenter, which is a record store.
Mm-hmm.
And and then he, like, I remember maybe meeting him in person there. It was a really small show.
Yeah, and also we had already put out some stuff with what was it?
With Lookout Records, Matt Wilden-Smith's.
Yeah, Homo, whatever the fuck it was. So
it was cool because he. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I remember that show at Epicenter too, and he said, when you guys are ready to do an album, and it was like a year or so after, and he kept to his promise. You know, I know he's also made a lot of mistakes, but I was impressed that he didn't flake on that promise to do our record.
What do you remember? What the fan reception was? Did that sell well at the time?
Well, yeah, because we were on tour. I feel like.
Although we had one, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We had one review in the Advocate or Out, and it was clearly a gay man who liked show tunes. And he wrote this review of us that was so confusing because he was like, if they were boys, they would become inescapably popular and we would hate them. But then he criticized everything they did. And then he said, I can't wait for another queercore band to come along and kick this band's ass. So he's like wishing by. It was really fucked up. It was like, wow, somebody got triggered. But anyways,
We got lots of bad. But the thing is we weren't online, like, so there's no way. There was only one way, as far as I could see, to sell merch, and now is at the merch table after a show. So yeah, after people saw the show, they saw Les and Silas and everybody jumping around and being cute as hell. They all ran over to the merch table and bought a record. So in that way, yeah, sure, we were popular.
I mean, I think we also learned because MDC took us on one of our first tour of Europe as their opening band. And I think Dave, remember, he always was just like promoting the shirts, buy a record. And he would do that for us. And he kind of was like, you guys have to like promote when you're on stage. Tell everybody like that you have records and t-shirts for sale. So, yeah.
it's true. And he would just boss those young men, young boys to go and buy our shirts and stuff.
And they hated us, but they marched over there because Dave told them to, and fucking were like, I need a t-shirt. What size? Okay, here you go. Plunk their fucking money down, all resentful.
Yeah, he ordered them to do it. But I also loved when we toured and we had those That's Mr. Dyke to You t-shirts. And it was like all these young straight kids and young straight boys would buy those shirts because it was punk, and they like would organize shows like in the park, and sometimes they'd pay with like dollars and coins and stuff. But I just thought that was so cool. Like they were secure enough that they, straight young guys wearing That's Mr. Dyke to You shirts. Pretty awesome.
Well, also at that time, Jello Biafra, when you first signed us, he was running around with one of those t-shirts that said, "Nobody knows I'm a lesbian."
That's right.
And when I saw those shirts, I was like, okay, whatever. So, open the floodgates.
Yeah.
For everybody, for it to be, a very popular identity.
I should get that t-shirt now.
Right?
Official lesbro.
If I
Heard that shirt.
it makes sense.
That reminds me of when we went on tour with our like solo shows, and I was like, we're all stealth, like, and nobody knows that Lenny's the man.
Alright,
And
so
then there was one.
We can't hear you.
how good are we on
Oh,
time?
you can.
Oh, we're getting down there on time, I think. You might want to wrap it up. I might need someone else to do the Zoom if we need another one.
Lenny,
Yeah,
What?
can you do the next one if we do?
I was trying, and it was like not. It wanted me to, go to buy as a password and all this shit. But I can do that if you want me to.
Leslie, you almost did it. You almost had it. You just keep clicking around. But then it did allow me to just keep clicking around. You get it. Yeah, I could. I just
Did you create a whole new account, Silas?
no. You just you do it on Zoom. Maybe I can try to set it up, but I don't have to be on it. I just didn't plan for this amount of time. So
Like,
you want me to try to do it, and if I have to go, you guys can keep. That'll work, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll be able to figure it out by ourselves, I think.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
Okay. So before we lose Flipper, then, where did that nickname come from? The Flipper Snapper.
I have no idea. There was 3 Lyns in the band though, and I've always had nicknames. Like even by my parents, my mom called me Max growing up. So I was always given nicknames, and I honestly can't remember. But then I chose Silas because I was like, maybe I need another name. But I love it because people from different eras will call me, that's like a very nostalgic name. But mainly it was that there were 3 Lyns and we couldn't have that. And so but I think I even did it with just the 2 of us. I can't remember. I wish I had a good story about it. But it wasn't about the dolphin show, which is what people old enough to know that show thought it was. Flipper.
Wasn't it based on the band that was in? No.
No, not at all. That's the thing. It had many things it could have been based on, but it wasn't based on any of that.
Okay.
Yeah. But
But
sorry.
it
You can
evolved.
make something up.
It did evolve very quickly to Flapper, and then
Flappeteria, Professor Flappeteria, Flipper, Flapper, many, Flipper Snapper. Yeah. It's very flexible.
Right.
But you can make something up, you guys, when I'm gone.
I've got to plug my phone charger in, and also, can I confirm that Flipper, you're gonna follow me on Instagram and we can chat because I do want a one-on-one with you. I want to talk about film.
Okay,
with you,
yeah,
if that's possible.
Yes, absolutely. Let me just find you on Instagram just before you go. And what is it?
Crash and Bleed.
Oh, okay. Nice name. Is it and Hamperstam or whatever, or is it spelled out?
It's the old-fashioned and.
Okay, and Bleed. Not coming up. Oh yeah, there we go. Got it. Okay, following you.
I just want to manipulate my girlfriend. I just want to flick it with the head. I want her. Do some little push-ups. I want her to apologize.
Yes, dear. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Fem bitch. Fem bitch. When you're on your knees looking up at her, you know she looks so magnificent. She looks down at you, you know she don't give a damn about you. You're insignificant, she don't have to throw you around the room. Even there's in the mud. Your din's gonna die sweet slow, torturous death with your face between a tattooed breath. She's gonna put you in a dress and make you confess your role in life is as a sex object. So when she puts a high heel on your neck, say yes ma'am, yes ma'am, fem bitch time. Don't bother to give her a ring for a finger. Move like Babylon and so to make her meaner. She don't need a big rubber dick or valley tricks. But a whip and a handful of lipstick. Go on, handle some shit. Give her some lips to put a boot in your face till you lick. She don't need to push you around. Just a sample of voice will get you down on the ground. Nails are long and you're looking around. Skin on your back is already long gone. With a black silk stocking, she can frighten you up sight. Keep the light, don't put up a fight. Roll on the floor for some love all night. Smile real nice when you sacrifice. Sacrifice your rights. You won't have to beg her, put the clamps on tight. Girl wants to destroy your dignity. She don't give a damn about chivalry. Like a bunch of butch cops trying to protect her little life. So she wants to give you his respect. You better keep her from being bored. She don't have an interested bone in her body. When she's through with you, she'll show you the door. You can sit by the phone and wait for her to call you. Keep you in a state of constant crisis, still never again will you look twice. And a push boy like you know is too damn nice. She's the one who exacts the highest price from your body and your mind. She knows how to find a place in your head. Well, them dead. If in that enough emotion for you, honey?